Welcome back. All right, so I've already made 3 hockey videos today. I figured now I'm going to jump over to the entertainment guy and make a video here. It's insane I'm doing this much content on a day where there's 16 games in the NHL tonight, but I have the energy, I have the drive, so let's go. So this past off season, and for me the off season runs from end of June right through until September. I did the series in on the Hockey Channel of the NHL's history, went year by year, and I love doing that. It is enjoyable to do the historical content. Doesn't always generate a lot of views, but I do enjoy doing that content. I know that as the years pass, people watch those videos. So the view counts may be low, but they do go up in time, and people will always want to come back and view that kind of content. And I felt like I had to update it because the last time I had done it was back in 2018, and I've moved twice since the last time I did that. So got a much better set now, much better setup, and I felt like it was a much better produced series this time. But it's led me to think, I need to think ahead to next summer. I felt like I was unprepared for this past summer. There were times where I just there was nothing up here in terms of ideas, and so I was kind of stuck. And I don't want to get into that position again. So, what I've got on the board here are ideas for both this channel, right here, this channel where I'm wearing my Ramstein radio shirt or radio shirt, and the hockey channel stuff is on the board as well. Because my plan is to do list videos on both. And you'll notice the word favorite is on every single item that I bullet pointed on here because favorite's important for me, and I have to make sure that I'm not titling something as best. So if I say this is the best movie I've ever watched, people are going to go, "What? That's the best movie you've ever seen?" That's a lie. And so I've learned over the years I have to change it to favorite. Now that doesn't necessarily always work either. When I've done favorite lists of favorite hockey players, for instance, I'll see, well, where's this guy? This list's invalid because this guy isn't on it. And then I'll just answer with, but it's my favorite players. And it's one of those things that always throws people off. That like, well, how could this not have been one of your all-time favorite players for this team? Because he wasn't. And it's the same with movies, TV shows, and whatnot. There's TV shows that I've always heard great things about, and then I watch it and I go, well, this isn't for me. Breaking Bad was one of those, and then when it's not in my favorite shows, people are like, well, you should like it. Look at all the other shows you watch. Why don't you like it? I don't know. I just generally haven't. So at the top of the board, you'll notice 2,000 favorite songs. And if this seems insane, it's because it is. And this dates back to. So I started doing my own favorite songs charts in 1980. I'm going to say 83. 1983, and I did that all the way through until 1991, until I graduated high school. I had a list of my 30 favorite songs I would update every single week. Yep. If that sounds like power rankings, you're not far off. But I would have my favorite songs, and of course it was because the songs that I liked were never the ones that were number one on the chart, never the ones that everybody else was talking about. So they'd be my favorite songs. So doing a list of 2,000 favorite songs might seem like a jump from there, but I started making those jumps after. So eventually I wasn't doing weekly countdowns. No, no, no. So instead, I was doing once a year, I would sit down and get a whole bunch of paper because I wasn't doing this on a computer. I do this on paper. And I would go through and organize songs and list them in my favorite from 1 to 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. My wrist was pretty sore by the end of that. But I was always writing, always. So I was kind of used to that. Carpal tunnel's kind of built into my DNA. So the 2,000 favorite songs list idea, I think, is kind of easier to put together and more difficult at the same time because it's easier because everything's online. I can find everything easily, but it's easier to get distracted than it was when I was just working with pen and paper and looking down and trying to remember. So I would try to remember all these songs. And then each year I would add songs as the year went on, not to the actual list. Like I wouldn't put them where I thought they'd go. I would put at the bottom of the list, these are songs to put on next year's list. And as I was writing them in, I would cross off songs that were in the top 1,000 the year before that I knew were coming out. And sometimes it was tough. It was like I don't know. I want this one to be in here. So 2,000 I think is easy enough for me to do because the last time that I did a top 1,000 was 30 years ago, and my musical tastes have changed somewhat, but I'm pretty sure I could think of 2,000 songs that I like. Um, it is one of those things that I do like making lists. My wife is always surprised at how many different things I have lists for, or had lists for. And there are times where we've been talking. I'm like, actually, I used to have a list for my favorite of that, and she goes, "Of course you did. Of course you did." So yeah, my 200 all-time favorite players. That'll be hockey players. I think I can do that. And again, I have to have favorites. But when Gretzky, Lemieux, Lindros, when these guys aren't number one, it's going to be, well, that's not right. How can Cliff Ronning be your favorite player of all? He's not the best player ever. No, but he was my favorite. So that's always the fun debate. So I'm spoiling it myself that Cliff Ronning would be number one, but everybody knows Cliff Ronning's my favorite all time player. I do still get that question in live streams here and there though, so it might be kind of fun to have that list. Now with the 2,000 favorite songs, I would think 20 a day would work, right? So it's a long playlist there. 20 a day on the favorite hockey players, so that's a 10 video playlist there. 100 all-time favorite wrestlers. I get asked a lot about who my favorite wrestlers are. I'd have no problem with going through and figuring out my 100 favorite all-time wrestlers. And again, this is from now until next summer before I'd be putting this out. So this is not content that I'm saying is going to happen right now. This would be next summer. My all-time favorite teams. The idea that I have is to, do videos on my favorite roster from each hockey team. So meaning, my favorite Canucks roster, my favorite, say, Nashville, my favorite, like every team, my favorite roster that they've had. I think that might be kind of fun to go through. And also to point out my favorites don't necessarily mean that they're the best, right? Although I am considering doing a power rankings by season and having some fun with that, or by era. So I did power rankings before, and this is NHL related, but it was 10 years at a time or 20 years where I'd rank Stanley Cup champs. I could do something where I try to rate over a 5 year period who the top teams were, top teams over a 5 year period, and go and start at the very beginning for the NHL and work my way through. So that'd be historical ish, without taking too much time, and I would think that'd be kind of fun to look at. My 500 favorite movies. Again, I've done a favorite movies list on this channel. If I did one now, it would probably look quite different. It's been years since I did that series, and I know that it would be quite a different setup now. My 100 favorite TV shows. I think that could be a lot of fun. There's definitely some that are all time favorites. The Office might end up being my all time favorite. The American version may very well end up being my favorite, to the point where I'm almost crazy enough to consider watching the Australian one. I know. It's supposed to be bad, but there's part of me going, I kind of have to see just how bad this gets. But my 100 favorite all time TV shows, I think that'd be fun. To be scripted, I could probably do one on reality TV as well. Favorite jerseys, so of course going back to the hockey, but I can do jersey videos on here too because I have baseball jerseys. I now have, I think I have enough Spirit jerseys from Disney that I could probably do a bit of a ranking there. And of course, Geeky jerseys, I can do a video of my favorite jerseys from Geeky jerseys. They're all in the rec room, and it would be easy enough for me to do a favorites from those. So yeah, that kind of thing I can do. Maybe my favorite hockey jerseys at the same time as I'm doing a countdown on this channel of my favorite geeky jerseys. And then my favorite wrestling feuds was an idea that I had as well, and I wanted to stop there because I could probably fill the board with favorite things. But wrestling feuds I think would be entertaining because there have been some that I've really enjoyed over the years, and I can also do my least favorite. My least favorite wrestling feuds and things that I didn't necessarily like to. I try to make sure my videos are pretty positive. Positive's important to me. I do feel like there's a lot of negativity on almost every platform. There's a lot of negativity on YouTube as well. So yeah, next summer could be a summer of list videos. And obviously, I'd be producing other content at the same time. I'd be doing other daily video stuff on the hockey channel, and just having more videos on this channel I think would be beneficial. I really do enjoy making videos for this channel. That's why I still have it. I've had this channel for 9 years now. So I didn't start this just to sort of whatever. I started it with the idea that, okay, when I don't want to talk about hockey, I want to talk about something else. I have a second channel for that, and that is still the plan. And fingers crossed that the plan continues to work out pretty darn well. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And so this is where you guys can let me know, what else could I rank my favorites of? And again, I don't know that I'll do a full jersey countdown again. I could at some point do a full jersey countdown, of course, but I don't know that I'm there yet. And obviously, between now and next summer, what I have in my collection is probably going to change. With what I've heard though about the pricing from um, the pricing from Fanatics and everything, I'm less enthused about buying jerseys this year than usual, and I'm okay with certain jerseys just not being available. There are certain ones I'm not going to have in my collection. That's fine. It really isn't the end of the world. There's always the chance to get stuff secondhand on eBay years down the road, which is how I acquired a lot of what's behind me here. A lot of that secondhand. So yeah, that's probably the route I'm gonna have to take with the new ones as well. Not all of them, obviously, but there will be some that I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. So there you go. But thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. This is the little channel that could, and I'm going to continue to make sure there's content on it. And if I do my favorite songs from 2000 through to 1, who knows? Like maybe one of these lists catches on somewhere and all of a sudden the numbers on this channel blow up. It's always possible. That can always happen, and I would adjust accordingly. So, and I've always said this, but I'll say it again here. In the event that this channel, let's say this channel blew up, that I did list videos and all of a sudden, I'm looking at 50, 60, 70,000 subscribers, I would definitely make more content here, scale back a little bit on the hockey content as well, balance things out a little bit more. But that's always been the trade-off, is that if this channel did really well, I would definitely produce more content to put up on this channel. But at this point, of course, the lion's share of my attention and my time would go to the hockey channel, as that's where a majority of our income and the views and everything come from. But again, I will go where the audience takes me. So let me know your thoughts. Other lists you think might be kind of fun, and I'll definitely take it under advisement. These will not all run at the same time. So I just want to say right now, this is kind of a, like, I do my favorite movies, then favorite TV shows, then favorite. So it would be, I would do a list, finish it, start another list, finish it, that kind of thing. On the hockey channel, I'm going to be running multiple playlists at the same time next summer. On the entertainment guy, I'll probably be running one at a time. But I do want to do daily content for both. And that's where I think it could be fun. But thank you guys so much for all your support. This is the greatest job I've ever had, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm very humbled by it. So thank you for your support. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. I will talk to you again soon.